Good morning. In the earlier lecture, we talked about wave velocity and group velocity. The next article is about G.P. Thomson experiment. Let us talk about this G.P. Thomson experiment. This article is completely theoretical. This is completely theoretical article. We need two figures. Let me draw these two figures, then we shall discuss about this G.P. Thomson's experiment. we need these two figures to study G.P. Thomson experiment. This is the experimental setup needed to study this effect, and this is the pattern we observe on this photographic plate. G.P. Thomson used high tension power supply, HT, high tension power supply. This power supply is such that it can provide voltage from 10,000 volt to 50,000 volt. This is high tension power supply. It can provide voltage between this range 10,000 volt to 50,000 volt. When we provide 1 volt to an electron, its energy will be increased by 1 electron volt. When we apply 10 volt to an electron, its energy will be increased by 10 electron volt. When we apply 10,000 volt to an electron, its energy will be increased by 10,000 electron volt. And when we supply about 50,000 volt to an electron, its energy will be increased by 50,000 electron volt. So, Thomson used such experimental arrangement that the energy of the electron may be increased up to 50,000 electron volt. He accelerated the electrons up to 50,000 electron volt and studied the diffraction pattern of electron, which is shown in figure 2. This type of pattern you have studied last year in optics, Newton's rings. This is just similar to Newton's ring, but these are not Newton's rings. This is diffraction pattern obtained for the electrons. This diffraction pattern is just identical to the diffraction pattern provided by waves. In Newton's rings, light waves provide the Newton's ring pattern. This is just analogous to Newton's rings pattern. This diffraction pattern is provided by electrons, the particles, not waves. As highly energetic electrons can provide such a diffraction pattern, it means that this experiment gives strong evidence to the particle nature of waves. This gives strong evidence, strong support to the quantum mechanics. So, G.P. Thomson experiment is always used as an evidence to particle nature of waves. It is always used as a strong support to quantum mechanics. Let us first go through the experimental setup and how to do this experiment. After that, we shall proceed to compare this diffraction pattern with X-ray diffraction. This is just similar to X-ray diffraction pattern, and you know what X-rays are. X-rays are the electromagnetic waves. X-rays can provide us this type of diffraction pattern. Electron also provides this type of diffraction pattern. It means that electron can have wave nature, electron can have particle nature. This supports the particle nature of waves. This is evacuated strong tube to pump. This pump is used for evacuation of this tube. Only vacuum is present in this tube. Vacuum, nothing, no medium. Nothing is present in this tube. The air even is taken out. You may call this pump as vacuum pump. Why this tube is made vacuum? Because the electrons moving through this tube are having energies in the range of 50,000 electron volt. It may get collide with atoms of the air if it were present inside the tube, and we don't want anything in between our experiment, and therefore this tube is made evacuated tube. Only vacuum is made to available, means nothing is there inside this. This is just similar to diode structure. This is cathode, this is anode. Of course, this is just analogous to vacuum diode. Vacuum diode. This plate is cathode. This cylindrical structure is anode. Okay. To cathode, negative terminal of the high tension power supply is connected, and to this anode, positive terminal of the high tension power supply is connected. This high tension power supply is such that it can provide any voltage ranging from 10,000 volt to 50,000 volt. It means that the electrons which are emitted from this cathode can be accelerated to very, very high velocities. One thing. Second thing, as very large positive voltage is given to this anode, very fine beam of electron is made by this accelerating anode. Let us call this anode as accelerating anode. It makes the electrons which are emitted, the electrons which are emitted from this cathode are converted into very fine beam of electron. This very fine beam of electron, which has electrons of energy about 50,000 electron volt, allowed to incident on this microfilm. This microfilm is made either from gold or aluminum. This is a microfilm. On this microfilm, the highly energetic fine beam of electron incident. This microfilm is made either from gold or aluminum. Its thickness is very, very thin, maybe in micron. One thing. Second thing, atoms of this film may not be regularly spaced, may not be regularly arranged on this film. So when this high energetic electrons passes through this microfilm, only those atoms on this microfilm which can satisfy the condition required for maxima or minima of the diffraction can cause diffraction pattern on this photographic plate. When this photographic plate is developed, we will find this type of pattern. This type of pattern is the diffraction pattern, and this diffraction pattern is obtained by J.P. Thomson for electrons. Earlier to Thomson, Scherer and Debye also studied diffraction pattern of X-rays. To study diffraction pattern of X-rays, they used powdered crystal. With the help of powdered crystal, Debye and Scherer were successful in getting diffraction pattern of X-rays. But J.P. Thomson used electrons to get diffraction pattern, not the X-rays. It is reasonable to expect that when highly energetic electrons are bombarding a metallic plate, X-rays might have generated. When highly energetic electrons bombard this microfilm, X-rays might have generated, and this pattern obtained by J.P. Thomson with the help of very highly energetic electrons may be due to X-rays. To verify whether this diffraction pattern is due to this highly energetic electrons or is due to X-rays as a reasonable expectation, we can do the verification. Here we can see different circles corresponding to diffraction pattern. These are corresponding to different orders of diffraction. First order, second order, third, fourth, and so on. By measuring the distance of P and the angle, we can find the wavelength of the electron giving rise to this diffraction pattern. You know the formula used by Bragg for X-ray diffraction. Bragg's diffraction of X-rays from the atoms of the crystals. So, measuring distance of P and the angle, even we can measure the velocity, we can measure the wavelength of the electron for different orders of this diffraction pattern. Let us first try to verify whether this diffraction pattern is due to the energetic electrons or is due to the X-rays, as it was reasonable, as it was expected by many people, that this diffraction pattern obtained by J.P. Thomson in his experiment is obtained because of X-rays, because X-rays might have generated when highly energetic electrons bombard this metallic plate. How to verify this? We can bring here electric or magnetic field. Bring electric or magnetic field between the photographic plate and the microfilm. X-rays are the electromagnetic waves. They are not deviated, either attracted or repelled if we use their electric or magnetic field. X-rays are not deviated from their path. X-rays do not get attracted or repelled from a magnetic or electric field. If this diffraction pattern is due to X-rays, and if we bring electric or magnetic field between the photographic plate and microfilm, this pattern will not displaced from its place. But if this pattern is due to electrons, electrons are of negative charges. If we bring the positive or negative electric field or magnetic field, electron always get deviated from its path, may be attracted or may be repelled depending on the field used between the microfilm and the photographic plate. When electric or magnetic field is brought between the microfilm and the photographic plate, it was found that the diffraction pattern has displaced from its place. It means that this pattern is due to electrons. It is not due to X-rays. This verification beyond doubt proved that the diffraction pattern obtained by J.P. Thomson in his experiment is because of the energetic electrons, and therefore this is the strong evidence for particle nature of waves. One more thing, as the electrons are very energetic, this photographic plate may be replaced by fluorescent materials. This photographic plate may be replaced by fluorescent materials. The fluorescent materials which are coated inside the screen of a CRO or your TVs, because these energetic electrons can cause fluorescence, and this effect will be visual. There is no need to develop the photographic plate to see, to observe this diffraction pattern. Diffraction pattern may be directly observed on the screen here if it is coated inside with a fluorescent material. So here, if we measure the length Fp and find the angle for various orders, measure the and do the calculations for the wavelength, it is found that wavelength of the electron found by using J.P. Thomson experiment is same as that obtained by using de Broglie equation for matter waves. One more thing, the wavelength of the electron found is immaterial, independent of the material used. Wavelength of the electron is found to be dependent on the velocity of the electrons. You know one thing, from the de Broglie hypothesis, lambda is equal to h divided by p, that is h divided by mv. If m is constant for simplicity, this lambda is inversely proportional to v. And here, when we determine wavelength of electron with the measurement of distance Fp and the angle, we find that this wavelength lambda found for electron using this diffraction pattern is independent of the material used here. It is found that it depends only on the accelerating voltage used, because this accelerating voltage will decide the velocity v. And this calculation again proved that this pattern is because of the energetic electrons and the wavelength of electrons found using this diffraction pattern is just same. It is in good agreement with the wavelength of electron found using the de Broglie equation lambda is equal to h by p or h divided by mp. This is about G.P. Thomson experiment. Hope you got it. And from this unit, I think only one article is left that we shall discuss in the next lecture. Thank you.